Hey BookTube, it's Charlie from Reader Turned Writer, and today I am doing an analysis of Ani's character arc from The Goose Girl by Shannon Hill. This was one of my childhood favorite books, and I recently reread it. I absolutely love some aspects of this character arc, and I noticed some other aspects that I thought were a little weaker. So today I wanted to look more in depth at what those might be and show you how to execute well on a character arc, a really good example of it. Every character arc needs to start off with a theme, something that the main character is going to learn throughout the story, and this needs to be a pretty universal theme. I've identified Ani's theme as confidence. Another way to phrase the theme is a lie that the character believes. The lie that Ani believes is that she needs the same strengths as others in order to succeed. Shannon Hill does a great job of showing stasis equals death for Ani. Ani fails at her job as crown princess. She is secluded and has no friends, and she is kept from her only passion, which is talking with animals. In fact, she is failing so badly and her life is so miserable that her mother decides that she is no longer crown princess, and her mother decides to marry her off to the prince in Beorn to try and keep them from attacking Killindren, which is where they are from. The catalyst happens as Ani is on her way to Beorn. Her lady-in-waiting, Celia, attempts to kill her and kill all of the guards that aren't loyal to Celia so that Celia can have the crown for herself. Ani runs away and escapes into the woods and is rescued by a family in the woods and manages to make it to Beorn to attempt to try and get the crown back. During Act 2, your main character should be trying to solve their problems in the wrong way. The way that Ani does this is by hiding rather than being confident in herself and her own skills. She even goes to the king to try and tell the king that she's the real princess and chickens out. Instead, he assigns her to be a goose girl to tend his geese. She hides with the other forest-born peasants who are taking care of the king's animals. Throughout your Act 2, you should have many ups and downs. This is a natural thing that happens as people try to change. Some of Celia's downs are that she is an outsider during the first part of Act 2 as she is trying to hide with the other animal keepers. She does not fit in. They act very much like friends. Ani isn't a part of that friendship. She has a heartbreak during her time as a goose girl where she meets someone who she thinks cares for her and then he abandons her, showing her that she is not capable of keeping a friendship or a love interest. In the middle of the book, she has a defeat where her horse, who she has a very strong connection with, dies, and this is a very strong moment for Ani where she is all alone in the world. In the second part of Act 2, one of her biggest downs is that she sees a lot of Beorn's problems and realizes that if she were the princess, that she could help with those problems, but because she isn't confident enough to go forward and claim what is hers, she can't actually do anything to help them. She also has a lot of ups that help her to gain confidence through Act 2. One of the first things she does is she befriends the geese that she is taking care of. That is a big boost to her because that is one of her biggest strengths, is her ability to talk to and befriend animals. She also has a big win as she is able to make friends with the animal keepers during the second half of Act 2. She begins to tell stories with them and they love her stories, which is a talent that Ani didn't realize that she possessed before. She always thought she wasn't good at talking to people, but then she realizes that she is good at telling stories. She also learns another talent, which is talking with the wind, a magical element of the story. And because she can talk with the wind, she can control it in different ways, and she has a few different ups where she is able to accomplish things using her wind speaking. And her last up is that one of the friends that she makes, one of the other animal keepers, learns the secret that Ani has, and when put to the test, the friend doesn't betray her trust. And so Ani begins to have more confidence in her friends, in other people, and in herself and her talents. About midway through the book, you need to have your stakes raised so that the tension can be raised as well. This happens for Ani when she finds out that Celia, who is pretending to be her, is intent on starting a war with Ani's homeland, Killindren. Celia wants to do this so that people from Killindren don't come over and recognize that she is the wrong princess. It is very selfish, and if it works, then everyone in Killindren will die, almost certainly. During Act 2, and especially during the second half of Act 2, Celia's soldiers are looking for Ani to kill her because they don't want her to come forward and claim to be the princess, obviously. Ani's all is lost is that they actually find her. They find her where she's at. And rather than being able to go to the king and tell the king that she is the princess and stop the war against Kilindry, she is forced to run, and she is injured while she is running away and delirious, and it looks pretty bleak for her. One of the things I noticed with the All is Lost is that while it is a pretty big All is Lost for the plot, there is not as much of an All is Lost for her character arc. The All is Lost doesn't have a lot to do with Ani's confidence and whether she's gaining the confidence or not. I think it is a little bit of a weaker point in the character arc. During her Dark Night of the Soul, she is wandering in the forest, worried about her family, and a little bit delirious. She finds the people who helped her at the beginning of Act 2, and they help her once again, and she has two epiphanies. She has one in regards to her character arc and one in regards to the plot. The epiphany in regards to the character arc is that she has a self-awareness that she has been trying to prove herself to other people because she didn't have confidence in herself, and that she was trying to become someone else in order to prove that she was worthy of being a princess. The epiphany with the plot is that she finds a soldier who is loyal to her that is still alive. This soldier and Ani go back to the animal keepers in Gather the Team, and they gather up their team and they go to storm the castle, or go to where Celia and the prince are about to get married, so there's a little bit of a time crunch because they need to get there before Celia marries the prince. During this beat, it's really important to show that your character has changed, and Shannon Hill does this by having Ani present the plan, which is that Ani will confront the king herself, full on. This plan shows us that Ani has accepted that her strengths, such as storytelling, are different than Celia and her mother's, but that doesn't make her any less capable of being successful as a princess. She also has her friends to back her up, and she has a lot of trust and confidence in them as well. I identified Ani's Dig Down Deep as her needing to use her wind speaking to save the day at the palace when her plan doesn't go exactly the way that she wanted it to. However, I did not find any sort of hard choice that she is presented with to prove to us that she has actually made the change to be confident. This is another weaker point in her character arc. However, she does save the day and everything ends up happy. The person who broke her heart before ended up being the prince, and the reason that he left was because he was betrothed to Celia, but actually in reality he was betrothed to Ani, and they end up getting engaged. There's a big party to celebrate at the end, a feast, and this is the closing image. She is surrounded by friends, she has found someone to love her, and the king even comes and says that he accepts her as the princess and as the betrothed to his son. And this is in direct contrast to the beginning, where she had no friends, she was kept from passion and love, and her mother wouldn't accept her, and she constantly was trying to live up to an ideal that her mother had in her head. I think that the strongest part of this character arc is the contrast between Ani at the beginning of the book and Ani at the end of the book. I remember as a teenager loving the fact that I got to see how much she grew in confidence and strength. One of the things in reviews that people talk about is that we're not shown as much as told that Ani is changing, and I think that a big part of this is due to the weaker All is Lost and the weaker Hightower surprise moments. However, overall I think it is a wonderful character arc and a great example of how to execute well on a positive character arc. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Ani's character arc. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Thank you for watching my video. I will see you in the next one.